Fighting a Cage Fury 112, August 26th. Look at this beautiful man in this mustache, Alex Myers. Alex, my man, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me today.
Of course, man. Thanks for coming on. I know you guys got a lot on your plate, so squeezing me in, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
1 week out from the fight today. How you feeling? Excited?
Yeah, I am. So this is like the first time I really haven't been nervous before a fight. I'm like in good spirits. It's fun. Like I'm ready to go have fun. I haven't fought in 3 years, so
Right.
it's been a long time. My last two weren't too great, so that's how it goes. And then COVID happened. A whole bunch of stuff happened in my life. Got busy working, getting engaged, everything. So it's like buying a house, normal stuff that guys run into in their late 20s, early 30s and shit. So, but now I'm ready, and I got a whole new coaching team, and I feel really good. I'm like really excited, and I'm ready, to just go have fun for once, and not like I can ramble on about a whole bunch of different feelings I have, but pretty much the worst thing that could possibly happen to me in fighting already happened. I got knocked down my last fight in front of my dad and my girlfriend and everything. So it's like, you know what? It can't be the second time. So I'm like pretty nerveless, I guess you could say. That's not even a word, but yeah, I'm not nervous, which is weird for me.
I know you're getting at. And for those who don't know, last loss was against Stefan Achukwu, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's not like, very tough schedule, this Alex Myers. But congrats on the house. Congrats on the engagement, man.
Thank you.
Where have you been training for this fight? Are you at, I couldn't really get an answer on this. I tried to do my research. Are you at Beacon? Are you at Saga? What's the deal with that?
So I train at 3 different places.
Yeah, that's
Saga. So Saga was my original gym. I started there. Me and my younger brother were the old owners. It used to be called Paper Street BJJ. Me and my younger brother were the old owners, first guys to join the gym as white belts and go from white to black. We were with them for like 10 years. So he ended up moving out to the middle of PA, central PA. And my younger brother bought the gym, renamed it Saga. So I still carry that flag. And when I'm not in fight camp, I'm there pretty much, 3-4 days a week. And then, so I still like to put that as like my home, right. Just like represent and keep that name going. And then I work a lot with James Booth, who works out of Grindhouse. He's a black belt under Daniel Gracie. He's, one of the best jiu-jitsu heavyweights around. And then most of all my MMA training is done with Bob Peach over at Beacon.
Okay.
I'm a Beacon MMA fighter. That's what I would say. That's who I fall under. But I do split my training up kind of old school style. I have like a striking coach and then 2 different jiu-jitsu coaches.
I was curious about the Daniel Gracie connection because I know a lot of those guys who I talk to. So I didn't know if you trained there or what. So thank you for clarifying that. I also, you didn't you do a camp at even a day at Renzo Gracie in New York City? I
was there probably one day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. So
I just saw that on your Instagram. What was that like? Because that's a very good gym.
That was pretty cool. I mean, that was when it was like the shit too. That was, I think, like 2000, early 2019, maybe late 2018.
Oh, okay.
It was right before 2019 ADCCs. It was like probably the springtime before that, which is in September. So it was cool, man. It was interesting to see at that gym with that many people in it.
Yeah.
With that many good people in it, like really good. I'm not talking about like local good, like world class good.
Yeah.
Because when I was down there, Gordon was down there, Nick Rodriguez was down there, Craig Jones was down there, Nyman Gracie was down there, Sean Brady was with like.
Yeah, you get your leg snapped walking in the door.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's a great experience. But this camp, how did this camp go? Like, you feeling ready? You in fighting shape? How you feel?
I feel great. Like I said in the beginning, like I'm excited. I've been working hard. I'm 31 now, so it's a little different. My scheduling's been a little different. Plus, I work full time, so I don't get to train, 2-3 hour sessions a day, broken up by like a 6-hour rest in between. Like I have to hammer out all my shit in a 1, 3.5, 4-hour period at night. I got to lift, then go right into jiu-jitsu, then go right into striking, then run, and then try and go to bed at a reasonable time, wake up at 6 and go to work. So,
Yeah,
so
man.
it's kind of cool. Like I wouldn't say I enjoy it. Like it'd be great to be a full-time fighter and everything, but it's kind of cool because this is how people had to do it before. So it's interesting.
I honestly love like you guys are humble, like the people that work and fight and train. It's very humbling. Like you guys are, I respect that a lot. So are you? I don't even know where you freaking live streetwise, but are you in Jersey? Is that where you reside?
No, I'm in PA, so
Oh
I'm in
yeah.
the Philly. I'm in the Philly suburbs. Yeah,
Okay, so now that I'm in PA, do you mind asking a little bit where do you live a little bit? Just
I
because
live
I'm
in
curious.
Hatboro, so I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
where you're from.
I'm in Pottstown, so
Okay, so yeah, just right down
40 minutes.
422,
Yeah.
Willow Grove exit, Turnpike.
Cool. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So are you a Philly guy? Do you like the city? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like going out in the city.
Yeah.
Philly sports fan, Phillies fan, Eagles fan, but I'm not like a city guy.
No,
I
I
don't have a
feel you.
neighborhood I rep or anything. My parents are from Philly, so
Okay. So I just have two Philly questions I've been asking everyone who's fighting. Favorite cheesesteak, number one. Where's that?
Del Sandros, Mania.
Yes. Oh, yes, you're the man. Best cheesesteak in the city. You're the first one that even knew what it was, let alone liked it. So good shit. Number two, you got an Eagles record prediction this year?
What do they play? 17 this year, right?
It's 17. Yeah. I'm 9-8. That's what I picked.
You know what? I was gonna say 10-7, but 9-8 sounds more realistic.
Yeah. Okay. That's some NFC East football right there.
Yeah, you know what? The NFC East is hot garbage, but the divisional games are always hotly contested for some reason. It's like the Giants are bad. Everybody knows they're bad. The Commanders are bad. They suck. Well, the Redskins, whatever you want to call them that.
Yeah.
But those games will be tight for no reason.
Yep.
It's like those are bad football teams. You have no reason even being competitive with them. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. That's just life as an Eagles fan. So let's talk your fight now a little bit. Thoughts on your opponent, Edwin Smart? You have fought and beat him before, correct?
I did, yeah, when I was a young man.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts going into this fight? Have you been watching tape? How are you preparing?
So I watched his last fight. He's kind of the same guy, which isn't saying he's bad. That's not like a knock on him. He is old though. He is an older guy. He's in his 40s. He's like 40, I think, 41 maybe.
I think he's 41.
And I think he's going to come out guns blazing. This is probably his last hurrah. And, he gets to fight a guy that beat him before in ring of combat. He's a Serra-Longo guy. That's his home turf. Like, he wants to beat my ass. He wants that one back. So it's going to be bad when it happens twice to him. So it's like, it is what it is. I fully expect him to, try and rip my head off. And that is what it is. I'm not talking shit or anything. I'm just saying, like, I'd be a little remiss if he didn't, actually, because, like, I don't know. But I expect a lot out of him. He likes the pressure to the cage. He likes the double unders. He likes the body lock takedown, outside trip. He likes the Hana Kimura on top. He likes the Hana Americana on top. Throws big punches, switch stances, throws a one kick with nothing in front of it. So it's like, it's pretty basic. He's big, he's strong. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty much, like I said, it really hasn't changed. That's not saying it's not bad. It's bad. I'm just saying it really hasn't changed.
You did your homework though. Sounds like that's good. I'm excited to see it. Hopefully I'm going to be there in person. If I am, I'll get you a beer afterwards. Anyways, 2-2 as a pro fighter. This is what we were talking about earlier, which I'd love to talk about again. 2-2 as a pro. Your last two losses are against, I think they're combined. I don't remember the combined records. I'm not going to make up a number, but they're like 9-6-1. And the other guy you lost to is freaking Tafon Nchukwi. And you had a little story about this. So I'd like to hear how you were given Tafon Nchukwi as an opponent.
So I was supposed to fight, let's see, that was the Parks card in March 2019. So CFFC came to me and offered me to fight who was it? It was John Romero, who actually I fought in my very first amateur MMA fight in 2013, 2014. And I lost by guillotine at the end of the second round. So I had wanted to fight John, and that it was a good scrap. I was taking him down, and I shot a bad double in the middle of the cage, and first fight mistake. And John went on to have a good decent pro career and had a couple fights under his belt. We were in like a similar position again, and I was like, oh, I'd love to fight him. And that fight never materialized. Something happened. And then CFFC kept going. Hey, we got another opponent. Yeah. And that fight was supposed to, I think, be in February, maybe January. And then something happened and they offered me somebody else. I think it was Tavares Gordon, who actually fought Greg Hardy in Contender Series. Yeah. That fell through. And we were like, okay, cool. And then I was just in camp. They're like, hey, we got somebody else. And I'm like, who is he? And they're like, oh, it's this guy from TLI. He's a kickboxer. He's making his debut. He has a bunch of kickboxing fights. Yeah. And at that point, I was in camp for a while. And I was just like, all right, well, I'm not wasting this. We need to fight.
Right.
And, my coach at the time was like, all right, he's a kickboxer, trains at TLI. That's pretty much all we kind of knew. And it turned out to be fun. So it is what it is. A switch stance kickboxer that's Lloyd Irvin trained in jiu-jitsu. It's kind of like a bad. And Lloyd, like TLI guys don't skip any steps. So they fight exactly where they're supposed to be fighting at that time in their career. So whatever he was, he's pro debut, but he could have obviously showed because he was signed when he was 3-0, 4-0.
Yeah.
I was the longest fight he had at he knocked me out 2.5 minutes in the second round. So, and he knocked out Willie Knight in a minute flat right after he fought me. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah. I mean, that age, that loss is going to age well. I mean, he's a UFC guy and he's looked pretty good there too.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a rough go these past 2 fights.
Yes.
But that's not saying he's unskilled. He's definitely one of the best strikers. He's the best striker I've ever fought, but he's one of the best strikers I've ever seen fight MMA in person, So it's, I used to beat myself up really bad about it, as anybody would, because losing sucks. If you're okay with losing, you're a loser.
Yeah.
But, it is, like you said, it aged well. No such thing as a good loss. It's not college football, but.
So you fought Edwin 5 years ago. A lot has happened since then, including fighting fighters like Tefan. What's this experience going to bring that you didn't have before?
I think just like an overall fight IQ thing. I used to be just throw shitty arm punching 1-2s and walk forward and try and get a takedown or push them on the cage. But I think now, like, we're about to find out. But
yeah,
I think now just like stepping back, seeing the picture, letting things develop off my striking, using the cage, not forcing a takedown so much. You don't have to. Not everything has to be ended in the first round. It's great if everything's ended in the first round, especially at heavyweight, because fighting 15 minutes at heavyweight sucks.
It sucks for anyone, but yeah,
right. Like
especially
even look at the best in the world. You look at guys like Stipe. You look at a Kane. You look at a Curtis Blades. Whoever. Those guys fighting 5 rounds. Even by the end of round 3, they all don't look like lightweights fighting 5 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not forcing anything, and it's kind of letting things develop. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned over the past 3 years, and that goes. Because I've been competing a lot in jiu-jitsu in the past 3 years, and competing against some high-level guys,
which I'll ask you about in a second,
and doing some bigger stuff. And my biggest thing there was always rushing through positions. It'd be like, all right, I'm past the guard, I'm inside control, jump to mount. You kind of suck at doing submissions in mount. Jump to something else, and just like sprinting all over the place and doing a whole lot of nothing. It's like I'm not sure if you're a car guy, but it was like a high horsepower car with no tires. Like I was just spinning the wheels. I was just doing burnouts everywhere. So now I think I have some traction and I have more wherewithal to step back and look and be like, this is my plan, and just execute rather than, oh my God, I need to freak out and rush forward. So
awesome. I'm excited to see it put to work.
There's time and place for that, but you need to know when the time and place is.
When you get on Contender Series someday, that'll be the time and place.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned the grappling. You've been very busy grappling in the past 3 years since you last fought. I noticed you grappled Jason Guida who's Clay Guida's brother. What was that experience like? They're a crazy family in a good way.
Dude, they were cool. So it was funny because me and my brother were on the card, and then Clay and Jason both were on the card.
That's awesome.
And then their old man goes with them everywhere, I guess. So like we all have a picture after the end, which is sweet. It's pretty cool to me. So yeah, he was a nice guy, man. You know, he's competing again. I think in the Fury the day after the card next week.
Yep.
So he's on the card again.
Clay's got the main event. Yeah.
Plays what? Caceres?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it was awesome. It was fun, and I think he had fun doing it again because that guy has like, I don't know, over 50 fights.
Yeah.
And from the wild time of MMA where you're fighting from middleweight to heavyweight.
Like
you're
3 times a night. Yeah.
Right. You're fighting Monday night and then you're fighting again, Saturday to do it again on a Wednesday. It's like, it's crazy. But no, he was cool, nice guy.
Yeah, I imagine that was a good time. I love the Guidas. But so you've fought and grappled at 2300 before. What are your thoughts on the place? I love it there, man. When I was there for the Fury 3 back in December, I don't remember who it was. Someone got slammed. I just got sweat on my face, and it was awesome.
So I kind of remember it from as a kid as the ECW arena.
Yeah, right.
The pro wrestling days. And I'm like, where's this balcony? They really need that for MMA, because the only negative when you watch MMA fights there as opposed to jiu-jitsu is you sit so far below the cage, you kind of look up and then you have the cage in front of you. Right. So if they had that balcony still, you'd be actually looking down into the cage, and I think it'd give you a better seat. But other than that, I like it, man. It's cool. It's nice for me. It's only 40 minutes from my house, and only because of traffic. So it's nice for me, if I fight there, I get to stay at my house, go there, whatever. So it beats the hell out of AC.
Yeah.
But some of those AC casinos are pretty fun to fight in.
That's what I've heard. But I'm hoping 2300 gets pretty loud, man. I haven't been there for MMA yet, but the submission was awesome last time, so I'm excited.
I think they're on track to sell out if it's not already sold out. So
it might be sold out, which I'm hoping it's not, but we'll see. Otherwise I got to pull some strings. So you go 3-2, you get the big dub next week. What's next for your pro career?
Fight again in August, October. Fight again before Thanksgiving, probably.
Good stuff. Do you plan on I know, are you under contract? Are you allowed to, how many fights do you have left?
No, I'm not.
So ideally, if you get the big dub, fight again, where would you like to go? it doesn't even have to be realistic in your mind, because it's MMA and you're really good at fighting, so it's realistic. Would you like to go to UFC, PFL, Bellator? What are your thoughts there?
One, KSW, Ryzen.
So many, yeah.
No, that's those 3.
Oh, those are the 3 you'd like to go to.
Yeah, listen, I'm kind of realistic. So,
sure.
Would I love to fight in the UFC? Yes, obviously. Every fighter would love to fight in the UFC. You want to be the top dog in the top dog promotion. That's where you're going to get your name out there. But I am 31. I am a relatively boring heavyweight, a relatively small heavyweight. So I'm not being unrealistic. So I'm looking at my options that would be I want that Street Fighter shit. I want to go fight in Japan. I want to go fight in Poland. I want to go fight in Rome. I want to go fight, if that's what this can give me, that's what I want. I don't expect to, make $100 million fighting MMA. That's just unrealistic for almost anybody to think that.
Yeah.
But if it can get me a flight to Singapore and I get to go fight some dude halfway across the world, that's fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
So that's where I'm at. So that's the opportunities I want to seek. Build this record and then go seek the opportunities elsewhere. So
awesome. I don't know if you watched my Caceres interview, but he said Japan is the best place in the world to fight by far.
Yeah, I would love to go. It'd be awesome.
And I love those promotions too, man. So that would be sick. So I was going to ask what your perfect dream MMA career goal is, but it sounds like you just kind of want to fight and travel and support your family doing it.
Yeah. Me and my fiance, we love traveling. So that's kind of if I was able to just take her oh, hey, I have a fight in name random country here. Do you want to go? And she's like, yeah, I can get off work. And I'm like, all right, load up, we're going.
It's awesome. Yeah.
She's like, what's it pay? I'm like, does it matter? She said, no. They're paying for the flight. She's like, cool.
We're going to travel. That's it. Yeah, that's great, man.
Right. And I get to fist fight somebody, and it's gonna be awesome.
That's great, man. That's awesome. Hey, don't. I understand the realistic part of it, but Dana's always looking for heavyweights, so you never know, man.
That's true. I'm not gonna. There's some bad.
Wait, what do you say?
There's some bad ones in the UFC.
Oh, some, please. It's about the eyes. I get that. So do you have like this is just a fun thing, completely throw realism away. Do you have like a dream MMA fight? Like when you're hitting the heavy bag, do you imagine it's like any fictional, current, past, retired fighter, anything like that?
Trying to think.
So far, I've gotten John Jones as an answer, Jose Aldo as an answer, and Conor McGregor as an answer. And that's just nonsense because I would never want to fight any of those people. So,
my size? Well, another heavyweight?
You can be a little kid for all I care. But what do you say?
No, I would fight Josh Barnett. Similar styles, similar interests. I think it'd be fun. Probably fucking get pounded, but it's all right.
That'd be a great fight, man.
Dream fight just in general, because it's somebody that, you know, is probably my favorite fighter of all time, is Sakuraba. So
that would be a good one. In Japan, sell it out.
Yeah, and then we can like rip cigarettes and hammer beers afterwards or whatever the hell he wants to do.
That'd be awesome, man. That pay-per-view would have my money in a second. So likewise, dream fighter. Do you have like a dream venue you want to fight somewhere someday?
Dream venue. You know, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
The infield at Daytona, some redneck shit. I don't know.
That's a great answer, man. Everybody's been saying MSG, so that's a good
Nah.
answer.
I think that'd be cool. It'd make my dad happy. He's a huge NASCAR fan, so some cool shit like that.
That would be sick. Have a NASCAR.
They should do that, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Bellator did, and it didn't really work out. But
you remember
you put real production in there, it'd be sweet.
You remember when UFC like announced Fight Island and they had like the pictures of the octagon on the sand? Everyone was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna fight on the beach," and then that was it.
Actually, you know what? I take it back. The coolest thing I could think of to fight in, while doing awesome redneck shit like fighting in the infield at Daytona, would be sweet. The coolest thing is if they set up the cage in the middle of the Coliseum in Rome and let us fight there.
That would be so sick.
So that'd be like some I don't know, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
You got to patent this idea. I'm gonna clip it and send it to Dana. It's gonna happen.
He needs some Saudi oil money behind that.
A lot of it.
Sure, that'd be so sick. Real tight about that.
So. That'd be crazy, man. So Alex, I don't need to tell you this, but fighting is obviously like not an easy career. There's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. It's very physically demanding, mentally demanding, very time consuming. When things get rough for you, whether it's after a loss, whether it's just after a long day at camp, whether it's a late night, doubting yourself, thought in bed, what keeps you going? What keeps you motivated? What inspires you?
This life is pretty cool.
It's a great answer.
So I was like a chunky 14-year-old kid, man. So if you told me now I own a house, I got a beautiful fiance, I get to fist fight people, I have a good job, I make a living, it's like, what? I have zero, like, I don't come from like some great, like, horrific background, man. I'm not like the NFL draft day story. I'm just a normal suburban guy that happens to be pretty athletic, that happen to be pretty good at a couple sports. So that's it. Like, this is like, people would kill for this. Like, there's people out there that this suck. Like, their life is really shitty. And my life is not really shitty. It's pretty much the opposite. So I'm just happy I have the freedom to do what I want to do. And it just so happens that what I want to do is fighting people. So if some days suck, then it sucks. But I'm doing what I want to do. And that's like, that's all you need. That's all I need to say. I think it kind of speaks for itself with that.
Yeah. Love that answer. I feel the same way with just this. Like, I get to talk to you guys all day. Like, my friends are stuck at work in an office. I'm at home, like, talking to fighters and putting it on.
Yeah, your job's pretty sweet too. Like, you get to do all the cool stuff with fighting, but not
and not get hit in the freaking face.
Right, exactly.
I just go to Muay Thai and hit a bag and roll around on the mat with some dudes, but not in front of 100,000 fans getting. No, I'm good. That's your guys' job.
Yeah, hey, man.
So aside from fighting, that's all we've been talking about for 20 minutes. I just want to hear about like Alex the person. When you're not fighting, when you're not training, what are you doing? Do you have any interests, hobbies, things you don't do inside the octagon?
Yeah,
You're a redneck, it sounds like.
No, I'm not a redneck. I'm a little white trash, but not a redneck.
It's Pennsylvania. I get it.
I'm a member of the National Guard, so I get to go, play fun Army games once a month, I guess. So that kind of eats up a lot of my other time that isn't fighting based or work based. Me and my girlfriend like to travel. Food, we're food people. Love going to new restaurants. Love spending way too much money on a dinner that's way too small. What else? I'm a big gun guy. That's pretty much a given.
You carry?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you were to carry, what would you carry?
19, Glock 19.
I would carry a 43 if I did.
Yeah, I have a 48 now, so it's changed a little bit. Surefire light on it, the whole nine. It's nice.
Cool. I love guns too. I was just curious.
Yeah, that's it. Like deep comic book guy. I got a big comic book collection, all that shit. And
you're into the boys?
I'm into the show. The comic book is actually pretty bad.
I haven't read the comic. The show's so good.
The show's great. It's actually a better version of the comic book. So it's one of those things where the movie's better. And
good.
I will fight people on that.
Good. And you'll win because you do it for a living. So last question here for you. Do you gamble or bet on sports at all?
I do not. But okay. I really like making sports picks. So if you got some, I'll be happy to give some.
Well, the podcast I run's Tapped Out. We're on the BetQL network. We just have a MMA betting angle. So I have to ask, who do you like this weekend? I'm going to ask you about 3 UFC fights. We'll start at the top. Main event, Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards.
Usman.
Decision. Great pick. Agreed. That's a plus 200 right now. Alex picks. Number 2, co-main event is Luke Rockhold, Paulo Costa.
Costa, KO 2 minutes into the second.
Pretty much agree with you there too. Last one is the Coco main event. The GOAT, Jose Aldo versus Merab Dvalishvili.
Aldo decision.
Love it. I agree with you.
Not that I hate Merab, but
it's Aldo.
You saw what happened when Cheeto fought Aldo. So.
Yep. No, I agree with every one of those picks. So
he still has it.
Oh yeah, dude. He still has it. He's what, like 30 something, 38, 36 years old. Definitely still has it.
He's not that old. That's the thing.
No?
Like he's old, but he's like not. You think he'd be like 37 or 38? But I think
probably
he's like 35 or 36. But
yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick just because I'm curious because I think that's true. Yeah,
he's been fighting in the public eye since he was 20. So it's like
35 years old, freshly turned 35. So yeah.
Yeah, he's really not that old.
No, and he still looks like he's 20, 28, 26 or something like that. It's killing it.
That good Brazilian genes.
Crazy. So before we hang this up, I just want to give you the opportunity. Is there anything you'd like to say to your friends, family, supporters? You're going to have a lot of eyes on you for the fight. The mic is yours. What do you got to say?
Nothing, man. This has been a good time. So happy to do it.
I agree. I thought it was a good time as well.
And also, sell the Coliseum idea. Tell everybody you know so we can get rich off of it.
Dude, if that happens, I'm down. We'll split that shit. We'll make it work.
All right.
We'll be like Dana and Mick Maynard over there. Also, I just have to ask, are you recently engaged? Because I caught you call your fiance a girlfriend a few times, and
I am recently engaged, and she gets really mad at me whenever that happens. So I had to make sure this is a public forum. So I had to make sure to call her my fiance this entire time in case she listens to it and decides to fucking kill me. So.
Bad news. You got 2 girlfriends in there. That's why I asked. Because I do it all the time too. No, but Alex, for real, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. Everybody make sure you tune in August 26th, CFFC 112. Heavyweights are going to go down. This guy stood across from Tafon Chukwi. He's got it. He's not some rinky dinky pro. little amateur. No, he's freaking Alex Myers. He's going to go in there and get the dub, and y'all are going to see it.
Yeah, I like that. You make me sound good, man. I should try and come on the show more often.
Dude, I got you. My hosts for my podcast are even better than me. I'm nothing, but we'll do it again sometime, man. And if I'm there, I'll get you a beer. Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.